Earlier this month, Wellington hosted New Zealand's first ever seaweed festival. I went along to take a deeper dive into our burgeoning seaweed industry.
The sea lettuce is beautiful, quite a grassy, kind of almost like a softly sorrel type flavour. I would use that instead of parsley towards the end of cooking or use it as a garnish. It's beautiful in a butter, it's beautiful with fish, and it's laden with minerals. One serving, it has a source of iodine, iron, magnesium and vitamin B12.
Shall we try a little bit?
Sure.
It does look just like a dried herb you'd find
Yeah.
in any kitchen, I suppose. It's lovely. It's got a very herbaceous flavour. It does, yeah. It feels like it could just be parsley that's dried and
But
included
much more
anything.
minerally rich.
But it does, yeah.
Yes.
And it's got that lovely still kind of umami-ness that I always think of when I eat seaweed. I'm at Common Sense Organics with Hayley Fraser-McKenzie from Pacific Harvest. We're celebrating New Zealand's first ever seaweed festival, and she's hosting a seaweed tasting event. Before we dive in, Hayley talks me through New Zealand's rich biodiversity of seaweeds.
Seaweed is an emerging industry in Aotearoa. We're a little brand, but we have been around for over 2 decades, and we specialise in edible seaweed. So there's lots of different things that seaweeds can be used for: biostimulants, nutraceuticals, there's even bioplastics. It's absolutely fascinating, all the different applications. We are really just focused on what can we eat and really just celebrating and promoting all the incredible things that seaweed offers as a highly nutritious food. I think an increasingly important one as people are looking for more nutrient-dense, sustainable food options that will actually leave the planet better off than some of the extractive crops our food systems become accustomed to. So it's an emerging space. The Seaweed Festival is a wonderful way to bring it to everyone's attention, get people talking about seaweed, and we are just happy to be playing a small part in that.
Seaweed is a common name used to describe a wide range of marine plants and algae that grow in water bodies. Seaweed aquaculture is an emerging global industry, estimated to be worth over $14 billion US in 2019.
There are over 1,000 different types of seaweeds that grow around our shores. Some are native and not found anywhere else in the world. We've got 7 degrees difference in water temperatures from the top of the north to the bottom of the south, and a very diverse coastline, and that brings a heap of biodiversity. Not all of them are edible, or possibly edible, but maybe not tasty. So we tend to focus on tasty seaweeds, and in terms of a food business, obviously we have to source seaweeds that are food grade seaweeds. So that means that they're being harvested in a food safe way and dried in a food safe way. We're standing in front of the table you've set up for a tasting session, and there's little jars of various beautiful colours. There's some lovely purpley pinks, some white, some green that people will be able to sample later, and we'll get to that. How does Pacific Harvest source its seaweeds? Is it sourced, out in the wilds and in nature, or is it largely commercially grown? In Asia, it's very common for seaweeds to be farmed, large-scale farming operations. Our range is much more artisanal, and there's a couple of things that are important to me. One is that the seaweeds are mostly wild harvested, so ethical and sustainable harvest is important. So an example of that would be making sure that if the seaweed is cut, it's cut in the right place and with the right frequency, so it's not damaging the reproductive cycle of that particular species, because each species is different. For us, it's also important and different to a lot of sort of Asian style seaweeds, where they are being, it's more of a commodity and they're being grown at scale. They're being put into ovens to heat and dry them at scale. Ours are all air dried, and that means that the nutritional potency is preserved, because seaweeds are very heat sensitive. We only air dry our seaweeds, and that's why you'll see lots of our seaweeds have actual mineral claim, or more, up to 4 different mineral claims. Can you tell me a little bit about what some of those minerals might be and what some of the health benefits of seaweed are? Seaweeds are really valuable from an iodine perspective, and that's really important because iodine supports thyroid health, which then sort of runs all these important things like hormones, digestion, metabolism. All of those systems that our bodies need to function optimally require a healthy thyroid. What is less known is that seaweeds also offer a range of other minerals and nutrients, and This is because a seaweed they don't have a root structure, so they're not restricted to only drawing minerals and nutrients from their roots. They use the whole surface area to absorb everything that the ocean has. They're like uber absorbers, very concentrated minerals and nutrients, some of which you can't get from the land, like selenium. Sea lettuce is an example. This is a source of iodine, iron, B12 and magnesium all in one serving. And that's, it's not just an iodine story. So that's on the mineral side, but the other side, they're obviously all plant-based, so great fibre. They're a source of aminos. They're just phenomenal in terms of what they offer from a nutritional perspective, very holistic in the way they deliver it as well. So I think it's a protein type. Some of them, particularly the nori, has relatively high protein. You don't need to eat a lot of seaweeds because the mineral richness is high. The trick is to have little bits often. Think of it, instead of salt, put seaweed on your food to get the saltiness, but you're getting all the minerals and you're also getting that lovely umami flavour. Seaweeds come in three main colour groups, generally speaking, occurring at different depths. The greens have higher chlorophyll and they are in the shallow waters where the light is stronger. The browns come in the sort of next level down, a little bit deeper. They offer much more iodine, the browns, than the other colour groups. And then the reds tend to be slightly deeper, generally speaking. And they will have different properties again, like more protein or more carrageenan or agar. So each colour group is giving you something different. The green gives you more iron, brown more iodine, red's going to give you proteins and more kind of other properties, interesting properties that don't occur in the other colour groups.
Well, let's get into the tasting side.
Okay. These two, the New Zealand harvested, so we've got a kelp and a New Zealand harvested wakame. Quite different from a flavour perspective. The kelp is quite sweet, but it's still got that umami undertone. Kelp's also really tenderising, so it's beautiful in a rub or in a marinade.
Shall we try some of the kelp as well?
Yes. So kelp is there.
It is much more kind of almost peppery, salty.
Yeah, I don't know if you wanted to try the other brown seaweed.
And it's got an almost bluey grey kind of steely colour actually when it's dried, which is quite lovely too.
Yeah, and because we only air dry our seaweeds, it's not as crunchy as some of the Japanese wakame that you might have tried. It's a softer, it sort of dissolves on your tongue a lot quicker, but the mineral richness in that's also really high. That's a source of iodine and magnesium in each serving. So again, you see that seaweeds are being heat sensitive, so the more you put them in towards the end of your cooking, the more nutritional value you'll get from them.
That's got a lovely depth to it as well.
Quite a lot more salty.
It is much saltier.
Yeah.
But not unexpected when you're trying seaweed, I suppose.
No. So that one, normally it's familiar for people who love miso soup. I would pop that into fritters, burgers, into stir fries. I've put it into lasagna. It's lovely in a salad. Lots of different recipes with the wakame.
Lovely. And this beautiful pink one is one of the red seaweed varieties, I assume.
Yes. So dulse. Dulse is one of our top sellers. It's known as the vegan bacon.
Bacon?
Yes, a lot of people will put that into a smoothie for its detox properties. But I would say take full advantage of the flavour it offers as well, because it's beautiful with omelettes or with savoury baking, or avocado. Just pop it on some avocado and you're going to get that lovely smoky flavour that you'd get from bacon but without the bacon. It's just, again, we sell this in a flake or a leaf. Can you taste it?
It tastes like meat. Yeah. Honestly, that tastes like just a bit of crispy bacon chopped up. I can imagine it'd be lovely in like a carbonara.
Yeah, beautiful in carbonara, or like a fish pie as well. Really nice and very nourishing. Dulse is one of the seaweeds. Well, actually, all of them will absorb toxins just like they do in the ocean. They do the same in our gut. So anything that's sort of nourishing, those lovely wintry, home-cooked meals that you want to nourish your family with, pop a bit of seaweed in instead of salt and you're going to get all that beautiful mineral richness as well.
I'm not the only one interested in trying the seaweed. A large crowd soon gathers around the table. For some, it's their first time trying seaweed, though others are a little more knowledgeable.
Oh, right. Can you eat that? So you can just eat that
Yeah.
raw, like
Yeah.
not dried as well, right?
Yeah, so this has got, if you smell it first, because then you're going to get...
Oh yeah, it smells like nori. It smells like nori.
It smells a little bit like nori, but that's nori.
Oh yeah.
It's quite different. So this one, I think it's got more of a sort of grassy, like almost a little bit like sorrel.
Oh yeah, so we've got that tang.
Yeah. So I think of that as, instead of parsley, whatever you put parsley in, you can put that in. And you're going to get, this is iodine, magnesium, B12 and iron.
B12's the one that vegetarians can't really get much of, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So nori and dulse are also B12. So there's more iron actually in dulse than there is in spinach.
I asked one woman what she thought.
Oh, they're all really tasty. Nice little bites of salt and flavour.
Were there any surprises, any that caught you off guard?
Honestly, they all kind of tasted the same to me. I think I would need to practice my seaweed palate a bit. But I quite liked the sea lettuce because it just sort of it tasted familiar somehow, and it makes me want to try and just eat sea lettuce from the beach. But I'd probably do a little bit more research before I do that.
Also in the store with us is Zoe Studd from Love Rimu Rimu, the organiser of Aotearoa's first seaweed festival.
Kia ora, I'm Zoe Studd. I'm the project lead for Love Rimu Rimu and the co-founder and co-director of Mountains to Sea Wellington.
And now you can also say New Zealand's first seaweed festival organiser.
And the host of New Zealand's first ever seaweed festival.
Can you tell me a little bit about how the festival's come about and what its hopes were?
We began a restoration project 5 years ago in Te Whanganui-a-Tara in Wellington Harbour. It began with an education program called Love Rimu Rimu that evolved into a regeneration project, particularly at this phase looking at our giant kelp forests, which are in decline both here in New Zealand and globally, and as are many other seaweeds. And for us, this festival is really about giving the community lots of different ways that they can get to know and appreciate and fall in love with our seaweed forests. When we first began the project, the aim was really to help people fall in love with Rimu Rimu, hence Love Rimu Rimu, because it doesn't have a great PR image. And so the Seaweed Festival has been a really cool opportunity to reach out to collaborators and to say, do you want to contribute to this idea? And the response has been really fantastic. So we've got musicians and artists and photographic experts and technical experts and people from Te Papa. We've got a whole range of people who are really passionate about the ocean, all the arts, the different ways that you can eat and enjoy seaweed as kai. And so, they all just jumped at the opportunity and we wrangled together a festival.
The seaweed sheets.
That was Zoe Studd from Love Rimu Rimu I was speaking to at the Seaweed Festival in Wellington. I also spoke with Hayley Fraser-McKenzie from Pacific Harvest, who supplied the seaweed samples.